Welcome back to Left in the Dark. It's been a crazy week, and we're just going to go over Trump's accomplishments his first week in office.
It's useless.
I'm working on mine.
Penny X.
If you're new to my channel and you want to stay up to date on what's going on with this administration, and you don't necessarily have the time to delve into the deep dark recesses of X like I do, then I got you covered with all the information that you need to make informed voting decisions, bringing you the top highlights of our newly inaugurated leader while bringing you the Democratic lowlights over the next 4 years. Now, Trump's inauguration went off without a hitch this week, complete with beautiful ceremonies and packed stadiums. The always classy and gorgeous First Lady, Melania Trump, debuted the now famous V for Vendetta getup and made a statement to those corrupt assholes that raided her underwear drawers after Biden weaponized the Justice Department, including the FBI. We got to witness the departure of the worst president and vice president in the history of the United States, by far. The president's son, Barron Trump, a dapper gentleman as always, received a standing ovation at the Capital One Arena.
Very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
During the inauguration, he put Joe Biden in his place out to pasture and said farewell to the Marxist globalist duo with this exchange. Take a look. I don't know what he said to him, but part of me wants to just believe that he said, "Get the fuck out of here, bitch." After that, Trump gave a heartwarming welcome home speech and signed a record-breaking number of executive orders. Look at the reaction of this crowd.
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Truly a long-awaited moment in American history, and we're just so happy to have you back, Mr. President. Some examples of these orders included declaring the existence of only two genders that are recognized federally, male and female, and I just have to say that it's pretty sad that our president has to sign an executive order declaring this, but after what we've been through for the last 4 years, we'll take it. The pardoning of over 1,500 January 6 hostages that we now know were entrapped by our corrupt intel agencies, that were unlawfully persecuted and imprisoned, and horribly mistreated by the Biden administration. He signed another order declaring the vicious Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations. This enables him to use military force against them the same as we would any other country that uses murder, destruction, chaos, rape, human trafficking, and other crimes against humanity as a business to instill fear within our country. He signed another executive order declaring the southern border a national crisis, canceling all asylum appointments, and deactivating the disastrous CBP-1 app that the old borders are utilized to legalize illegal immigration into our country. Illegals were crying about the fact that now they can no longer just flood into our country unabated and without structural vetting in place. Turns out you can no longer come into our country unless you have something to offer, and you can wait along with everyone else. This prompted his newly established Department of Homeland Security, now led by our gorgeous former governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, to bring some long-awaited change back into our country and help to sort out the immigration crisis at the southern border, effectively ending this reign of terror brought on by the last administration. And then last but not least, he signed a couple more orders, one rescinding over 80 executive orders issued by Joe Biden, including one that grants the U.S. the rights to drill baby drill, and then the other to remove DEI programs in our government that don't make our government any better or more efficient. They just make it literally more gay and more trans and more racially diverse, but doesn't add any merit, skill, or guarantee any results because you're just hiring based on appearance instead of experience. I think it's safe to say at this point that DEI is officially dead and buried. Thank God. Once again, proving how much that these people hate our country and want to destroy it. After 4 long years of gross incompetence and willful negligence by Biden and his globalist elite buddies over at the UN, he accomplished this and much, much more in the first 4 hours of his presidency with just the stroke of a giant Sharpie. On to the next. Certified badass Tom Homan and ICE deported over 1,000 illegals this week, including this gentleman.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti.
Caught up in these raids also were 39 cartel members in San Diego and a bunch of other international criminals, rapists, and murderers that Biden and his clown car allowed to just operate unobstructed for some reason, while they persecuted Christians outside of abortion clinics and staged a coup outside the Capitol, and then threw all the innocent people involved in jail. Now, if they located and dispatched 308 of these criminals in just the first 24 hours, then you can bet your ass there's millions more down the pike. Now, these raids have been so effective that they just started flying them out faster than Joe Biden could say,
I was going to excuse me.
On to the next. Trump made a virtual call over to the WEF where President of Argentina Javier Milei and himself systematically dismantled the global elites that want to destroy this country and conquer us, the true masterminds behind the deep state. They self-admittedly want to take away our privately owned possessions and replace them with depopulation, forced vaccinations, martial law, government monopoly, and tyranny, and make us all eat bugs. Don't take my word for it though. If you don't believe me, just go check out some of their speeches over at the World Economic Forum for yourself. Panels consisting of Emperor Palpatine-style supervillains like Klaus Schwab and George Soros, not exactly the type of guys you want running their proposed globalist utopia where you own nothing, they own everything, and if you don't submit, you get massacred. Let's see our beautiful orange POTUS lighting these bastards up and setting the record straight, shall we?
On day one, I signed an executive order directing every member of my cabinet to marshal all powers at their disposal to defeat inflation and reduce the cost of daily life. I imposed a federal hiring freeze, a federal regulation freeze, a foreign aid freeze, and I created the new Department of Government Efficiency. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam. Withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy. I declared a national energy emergency, and that's so important, national energy emergency to unlock the liquid gold under our feet and pave the way for rapid approvals of new energy infrastructure. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it.
Trump has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician, has risen. Somebody who, if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, dead politically, known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician.
Yeah, we love this kind of shit. Next, our new Vice President, J.D. Vance, casted the tie-breaking vote to confirm Pete Hegseth as our new Secretary of Defense. Rest assured, we will no longer have bottom boy beta cucks, transgenders, and American-hating socialists running our Pentagon. No more people like this, like this, like this, or like this. And I can't believe we even ended up here, but we did. Remember this the next time that you see a Democrat running for office on your ballot. And alongside the Democrats who did their job of trying their best to obstruct every move of our president, Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska kissed their careers in conservative politics goodbye by voting against him. And alongside them, of course, the other rhino usual suspect and Chinese Communist Party asset Mitch McConnell voted against him as well. But the good news is, along with Pete Hegseth, John Radcliffe, the only one to tell the truth about Hunter Biden's laptop and its child porn, corruption, and 10% for the big guy influence peddling contents, was confirmed with 74 votes as our CIA director. Kristi Noem was confirmed as our Secretary of Homeland Security. I think she'll do a much better job than old Alejandro Mayorkas, though that's not a high bar to meet considering all you have to do is protect the president from being shot again, make sure you're not flooding our borders with illegal immigrants and criminal terrorists, and cutting down on the rampant human trafficking that nobody talks about. For some reason, the last administration did the exact opposite. Still can't figure out why. And Senator from the great and beautiful conservative state of Florida, Marco Rubio, was unanimously confirmed as our Secretary of State. Democrats really like Rubio. I can't figure it out, but we'll take it. This is gonna be good, y'all. Promises made and promises kept are the words that he lives by, as the boss signed an executive order to release all files related to the assassinations of JFK, RFK, as well as MLK. This was truly a profound and solemn moment in history. Let's take a look.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
I can't express how happy I am for RFK Jr. and the closure that this is finally going to bring to his family. This is going to thoroughly expose just how corrupt our government has been for at least the last 60 years, and this is just the beginning. I talk about this pretty extensively in the documentary that I released about a week ago, where I go into depth and take a deep dive into what the deep state really is and what they're trying to accomplish in America. If you enjoy history and want to know why I think that the government killed JFK, then feel free to check it out. It'll also be a prime example of what our president and what our nation is actually up up against. And if you'd like to check it out, I'll leave a link to it in the description, as well as a calling card at the end of the video. And I have no doubt you'll walk away with a sense of hope and optimism for what the future of America really holds. You'll love to see it. Next, Trump ended up pardoning the 23 Christian folks that were persecuted, singing hymns and praying outside of abortion clinics after they were handed 11-year prison sentences by Biden's DOJ. Let's have a look at that.
Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this. They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now.
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous indeed, sir. I mean, at this point, why is the Democratic Party's entire platform completely antithetical to Jesus' teaching, making it inherently evil? I mean, murdering babies, cutting off your genitals, assassination attempts, greed, corruption, taxpayer theft, and gay pride are not exactly included or suggested in the 10 Commandments now, are they? Yeah, try telling that to Marianne Buddy, the scary-looking Democrat leftist shill bishop of Satan that weaponized the pulpit of all things to advocate for more illegal immigration, homosexuality, transgenderism, and debauchery to the President and Vice President of the United States faces during a church service.
I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
Yeah, that's not a church, that's a goat farm. At this point, you can't support the Democratic platform and then call yourself a Christian at the same time. Show me a Democrat that's a Christian, and I'll show you a liar. Either they're a really low information, uninformed, and confused Republican, or they're not a Christian at all, period. If you liked the video so far and want to see more next week, consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. You don't want to miss it. Our Republican Party officially passed the Lake and Riley Act, effectively granting law enforcement the right to detain and arrest any illegal immigrant convicted of a crime such as murder, rape, or child molestation. Of course, 156 Democrats voted against this bill, trying to protect these scumbags. No surprises there. Not even really worth a comment. And the Congress passed another bill solidifying the rights of babies born alive after botched abortions to life-saving medical care. Surprise, surprise. 204 Democrats voted against this bill and tried to enshrine the right to murder people's newborn babies after their first execution attempt fails. This just makes me really angry, and thank God we're in charge, but let's just move on. Next, Trump took a trip to North Carolina and took care of the Trump-supporting Hurricane Helene victims that FEMA skipped over during their search and rescue missions. Yeah, that actually happened. I know, right? Later that day, he made a stop in California to roast the Democrats there, expertly criticizing their disastrous protocols surrounding water supply management and defunding their fire departments, as well as their incompetency with using their executive powers. Take a look at this.
Fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it, because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years.
If a family...
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can
There's
do
not
that.
that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract that's going to charge him $25,000 to do his lot. I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I
an
mean, you have a very
emergency
powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can.
That's a long time a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watch hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit, and the permit's going to take them. Everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
I just think that at this point, the Democrats will just never understand that throwing money at an issue doesn't solve the problem. Cutting regulations and red tape and to allow people to organize and actually take action and complete the process of rebuilding is the solution, not more taxpayer dollars with no plan of execution. And that's why our based president said this during the California Roundtable to one of California's dumbest Democrat congressman, Brad Sherman. Take a look.
President, without your help, they're only going to get $43,000 from the federal government, even if they have a half
Well, you know,
$1 million
you did
uninsured
something,
loss.
Brad, where every insurance company in the country left California. That's why you have no insurance, because you made it so impossible. People that think like you made it so impossible. And you know,
Brad, me,
every
Mr.
insurance
President,
company.
I don't know what
I'll
you
tell
know
you this,
about my thinking.
I've never seen a state where almost nobody has insurance. And I said, what happened? And they said like 6 months ago they all left. And 2 years ago they had different, quadrants, but they left. And you have very little insurance here. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Old Gavin Newsom met with Donald Trump as he landed at the airport, and I was really looking forward to seeing him get what he deserves, but he was nowhere to be seen at the roundtable. What a coward. And to end on a high note, as a result of President Trump's new and improved border policy directives, the United States has officially found and secured 75 to 80,000 of the more than 300,000 missing migrant children the left refused to talk about and that were lost by Biden and Kamala and Mayorkas over the last 4 years. Once again, we're seeing a bright shining light all over this nation, and there's more peace, truth, prosperity, and hope on the horizon for our beloved country. This week was actually really crazy, and there was so much that happened that it's almost impossible to cover all of it. But this is just the first week, and I'm honestly scared that we're going to run out of stuff to be excited about. But if you like the video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.